I wanted to share the payouts like on my screen so that you guys.
Oh yeah, let's do it. Okay, so some advice for some of those guys that just can't quite get the payout. What you got?
Psychology. It Amen. Really, it's that. Join a prop firm. Like, what are you doing? So.
Hi guys, welcome back to another TFT interview. We've got a payout here and I've got Austin. But before we get into our interview, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit the bell for notifications, hit the like button, drop a comment, and here we go. Hey Austin, if you want to let everybody know just some super basic stuff, where you're from, how old you are, and how you got into trading.
All right, try and keep it short. Name's Austin, 35 years old, and from New York. And I got into trading back in 2017, and my gateway into it was crypto.
Nice.
And I was, I was on Facebook one day and people were just talking about Bitcoin, this, Bitcoin, that. And, Bitcoin's at 3,500, get in right now. And so I, had no idea. I didn't know what Bitcoin was because it's been around for, since however long. But I just didn't know anything about trading it or the significance of it or how to get in or anything. So around that time, Coinbase kind of got popular. And then this is middle July of 2017. And then I decided, all right, well, might as well buy some because everyone's talking about it. Why not? And at the time it was at I think 5,500 or something like that. So
wow.
Bought some Bitcoin and then it started trending up and it went to about 10K and I was checking it and I was like, wow, I doubled my money. This is crazy. Let's put more money in. And so
okay.
I put more money in and I watched it rise to 17,500, whatever that top was, right around there. And I just couldn't believe it. It was, I had never made money so quickly. And it was just one of those things where I was super interested in it. And I thought it was just going to go to the moon. So kept adding more in. And then what happened? It started tanking. And I ended up selling all my positions when it fell back down to 11,000. So I got out of the whole thing in profit by I think it was $1,500 or something like that. But I was in profit by so much more. And I was just really upset that I had given up all my profits. But at the same time, I was so intrigued by the idea of just being able to click your mouse, get in somewhere and make a ton of money. So my whole mindset from that point forward was well, that was so easy and people do this and make money all day in traditional markets. So now I got to focus my attention on the stock market and see what I've been missing out on all this time. I was still kind of in crypto, but then I pivoted into options because a couple of my friends that were also dabbling in trading they were telling me about options and, you could get 100% return in a day. And, I didn't have a ton of money to put in at the time. So I started off, I opened up a TD account, put $2,000 in it and just started trading options on SPY. And I was taking contracts that were expiring same week or the week, the following week and, buying calls and puts close to the money, not selling options at all because I, definitely didn't have the capital to do that. And
Gotcha.
Researching how risky it was, I didn't want to go near it. The problem I ran into with options was that there were just too many variables going against me, time decay being the main one, where I could have been totally correct on my trade, but because it took too long to get there, I finished not in profit. And it was just, that was happening to me too many times. And also it just really felt it felt as close to gambling as you can get because just the volatility of options contracts. So I tried to do my best with it for a while. And then a buddy put me on to micro futures. And this was,
yes, that's what I trade.
I've seen that you used to trade futures. So this is when micro futures had first came out. So this had to have been 2018, was it? Or 19?
Yeah, I think you're right. 2018
somewhere
or 19.
around there. Yeah. So I started joining, I was with TradeStation. I was with Tradeovate. I happen to really like them actually, but because they, their commissions were lower. TD Ameritrade, unfortunately, for micro futures, it's no, because commissions are way too high, and it's just unless you're trading standard futures contracts, it's not worth it.
No go.
So
okay, good to know.
But I was doing micro futures and I was doing S&P and Dow, NASDAQ, doing that for a little while. And I love that, of course, because you could get in and out of trades a bunch of times per day.
Right.
And it was not like options where, you know, it would take 2 or 3 days to settle and you'd have to like wait for your capital to come back. So I was really into micro futures and I thought that that was like as good as it was going to get. So I did that for a while and I was driving Uber at the same time.
Nice.
So Uber was like at the time my main source of income because the business that I was doing at the time was starting to dwindle. And I was, you know, at the red light dropping passengers off and like checking positions and like closing just a mess. But yeah, I did that for a while until a buddy of mine just asked me one day, have you ever heard of prop firms? And I had heard of like T3 and like Maverick and like, I guess these are like, I'd heard of the traditional prop firms where you kind of pay this like exorbitant amount of money to get in and they don't give you a lot of capital to trade with and they don't give you a lot of leverage or anything like that. And so it turned me off to it. I didn't think anything of it. And then there were a couple prop firms that like my buddy was trying to point me to, and they were futures prop firms. And I thought, oh, okay, this is cool. I could trade futures, but you know, they had these weird terms where, you know, you were paying $300 a month and you had to meet all of these like targets to get funded. And I kind of got turned off to that too, because it just seemed like, you know, they're just figuring out a way to like funnel $300 out of me every month.
I see. Yeah.
It didn't really feel like, you know, the main goal was to get funded with these guys. And I just didn't like it. So I kept doing my own thing, trading my little, you know, teeny futures account and driving Uber. And then I was put on to, I won't say, you know, the prop firm, but I was put on to
Oh, no, go ahead. We don't mind. We're definitely, we're open to all kinds of, yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Well,
yeah, we don't mind.
I was put on, my buddy told me about FTMO. And this was back in 2000, like end of 2019. It was before the pandemic. So end of 2019, he tells me about FTMO. And I look at it and I'm like, like 2 phases, 1-time payment, like you get a refund if you pass. And like, okay, like this is, you know, this isn't too bad. Like, let's give it a shot. And so I started out with a $50,000 account, made it to phase 2 a few times and finished phase 1 in profit a few times. Basically was able to like coast off of like my one fee for a few months, but ultimately didn't get funded. And then I had tried out, you know, with FTMO and then I got on the funding talent ship, which that, you know, eventually sunk pretty bad. But
wait, I didn't hear about that one. Was that a prop firm that went down?
Yeah. Funding talent. No. So at the time, I mean, there were definitely more prop firms out at the time, but you know, the ones that I knew about were FTMO, funding talent, and then probably my Forex funds. I think that was the other one that was just like sort of making noise at the time.
Yeah.
And funding talent, I don't know exactly what it was. They refunded me, by the way. So I'm not going to say I got scammed.
Okay, good.
Scammed. They gave me my money back, so I can't really like complain. But you know, all the people that were funded by them and made a ton of money never got to see that money because
that hurts.
Their business model just failed them. I guess too many like traders were doing well, or I don't know what their model was, but the ship sank. And you know, anybody who was funded by them got pretty screwed. And you know, I just had challenge money in there, which they gave back to me. So no big deal.
All right, fair enough.
Anyway, I had tried, you know, several other prop firms, like trying to get funded. And then eventually it was well after the pandemic. So like probably end of 2020 into 2021. Right around there is where I got my first funded account. And I was still driving Uber, but I was able to kind of keep things afloat. And like, I was creating what felt like a pretty easy way to like transition out of Uber and actually start trading full time finally, which is what I had wanted for such a long time because, you know, you get all your time with it, right?
Yeah, so that's the goal. Yeah.
So then, finally I got funded and then I lost my funded account and then got another funded account and then was able to like keep that coasting for a little while, eventually lost that. And here I am with you. And then there was one more, actually. Sorry, there was one more funded account that I got, which I still have today. Nice. And then I got on board with the funded trader. And it's been great.
Oh yeah. That's an incredible freaking journey. Damn. All right. So then, I mean, now I got 100 questions. I mean, I'll keep it as minimal as possible.
Yeah.
So so you started with, remind me, you started with crypto. Then you went from crypto to options, and then you went from options to futures. Are you still doing futures, or are you doing like stocks and Forex now?
I'm only like, when it comes to trading, I'm only on prop firm capital. I'm not trading with any of my own personal accounts or any of my own money or anything. And that simply is because it's like, I got the prop firm's capital. I just don't see a reason to like do my own account when I can just do prop firm account.
Absolutely. Okay. So right into it, like what is the strategy that you started with when you learned options? Is it similar to the one you use now? Did you have to like develop a strategy to what you got now? How did you get to the strategy that you have now?
All right. So yeah, it's the strategy that I had back then is not even remotely close to what I do now. On that note, the strategies that I have, I go through like phases. Like I'll hold a strategy out for like a year or so, and then I'll sort of find another one that I really like, and I'll just kind of, put all my trust into that. It does depend on my back testing. And at this point, I've arrived on like two. I'm finishing up back testing a third, but I have two that like I could really like just swear by and know that it's going to get me. I'm going to be profitable at the end of it. And then also like on top of the strategy stuff, and this is where it like gets a little weird and hard for me to answer, because even though I have 2-3 strategies that like I have back tested over a period of 4 years and know like with the 2 pairs that I trade and know that they deliver results, knowing which ones to apply and when is where like my intuition comes in completely. And it's like instinctive and sort of, in the moment. So like, just because I have good strategies doesn't mean I'm following them to the book all the time. Like I may see something in the market that makes me want to like either implement another strategy or just simply enter, because in that moment I'm feeling like, yeah, that's going to work. Like my trade's going to work here. And that's really the only way I can explain that is just off of the 4 or 5 years experience that I've had just watching these charts all day and seeing the market behavior and just knowing, okay, like in this last situation that looked like this, price did that. So therefore I'll enter here. Even though it kind of goes against the strategies that I have, I'm still going to take this trade because I think it'll work. Okay.
Yeah, fair enough. And what's cool is, so you mentioned that you try these strategies, you give them at least, so I know one thing that a lot of new traders have issues with is they try too many strategies at once. They're like, this doesn't work. Try another one. This doesn't work. But what you said, it seems like you at least gave the strategy that you tried, like it's due diligence. You tried it like an entire year. You tried it through different like market seasons. Yeah. So, I mean, I think that's probably where the intuition comes in too, because you gave it its due diligence. You did it for long enough to where you can see, okay, it worked in this kind of market condition. It didn't work in this kind of market condition. So that's cool.
Exactly. And, the other thing too about it is like, I don't think there really is such a thing as a bad strategy, honestly. Like,
agreed, completely.
I think really all of them are good. And I think all of them will generate like at least a 60-70% win rate, or if not that, depending on how you do your win-loss ratio, it'll generate profit for you in most cases. Like really, I have yet to like find a strategy that doesn't technically work, but this is where like what tips the scale, I think, to favor traders the most is the psychology aspect of it. That's like, to me, the biggest thing. And that's why prop firms and the funded traders specifically are like a godsend, because you get to use their capital and you essentially have nothing to lose. The only thing you have to lose is your challenge fee. And that challenge fee is way smaller than what you would ever lose if you're trading your own personal money in a
absolutely. So, I agree completely. Okay. And the next question. So it was going to be just kind of like about TFT, how you found us, the community. So it seems like you found us because you had already had some experience with other prop firms, and then TFT came along. You found us that way?
Yeah, I had experience with other prop firms. There was a YouTube channel I was watching. It was Blake's, Trade Connect VVS. And that's how I discovered the funded trader, was through that.
Oh, yeah. And now, are you involved in our Discord or like the community at all? Or do you kind of just, I know some traders, like they're like solo. They're like, I don't need any bias. I don't want to, get some knowledge from someone else that's going to make me change the way that I think of trading. Or is it like a good community? Are you involved in the Discord at all?
So I joined the Discord chat, the funded trader chat, the other day, actually. And yeah, I'm involved I'm in it, and I'll glance at it just to sort of see what people are saying. But I'm actually I'm very guarded when it comes to going with any kind of trading strategies that other people do, because it does it will impact my bias, and it'll make me. And also, if I follow a move because somebody in a chat said it and it's wrong, I'm going to be sick about it. So I really trading is such a solo game that I have to be really protective over where I'm, I shouldn't even be looking at all for any sort of other source of information other than what I've compiled over the years. So I'm pretty strict about that, but it doesn't mean I don't want to be involved in the community or that's why I have it open. And I'm I'm not around, but I'm around because maybe if I see something that I want to add to or give input on, I will. So.
Absolutely. Very cool. And I completely agree with that. I totally get it. Some people they're just hearing someone else even say that they got into this position, just hearing that alone, whether they're saying why or why not. And let's just say you happen to be in the same position, but you're going the opposite way. And you already just hearing that they got into that is just wait a minute, should I maybe you second guess? So I totally get that completely.
I really fall victim to that because it's a dangerous game for me. So I just don't go. The reason why is because when I was trading my personal account before the prop firm journey started, I had two mentors and they had a chat room, and I would be in that chat room with them all day and talking to them and learn, soaking up strategies, learning how to trade. And they would, they'd call out these moves that they were going to take. And it would always be the ones that I participated in that failed.
Right?
Yeah. So it was just I had to just be done with it altogether.
Fair enough. All right. So next question is going to be, and this is completely up to you if you're able to, do you want to share a little bit of your strategy or just maybe your screen? Can you just kind of give us just a walkthrough? Okay, let's say it's a normal day. You're pulling up your charts. Kind of what is the process or the routine that you go through when you're pulling up your charts?
I always keep two charts open on my TradingView app. And the right chart will be my daily and the left will be my hourly. And I'm just doing a top-down approach. So we're on GBP USD, and we know that the overall trend is down. So I'm really turning my attention to sells. And in this particular week, where I took two trades, and that was it. This first one was here. And just to give a little bit of background, I go 1-to-1 on my trades. I don't have I just do a very simple 1-to-1 and that's with my hard stops and take profits. But in my mind, I'm actually, I have mental stops in my head that are not as wide at all as what my
Gotcha.
1-to-1 is. The 1-to-1 is just the hard numbers so that in case I'm not around my charts or I'm asleep or something
yeah, fair enough.
My daily drawdown limit or I'll hit the take profit that I want. So particular trade, my first one, I just took profit early because, before I get into that, my strategy is essentially, if you see this orange line right here, this is my 21 EMA, 21 period EMA. Okay. And I am just entering on either a bounce from or a retrace to that moving average, essentially. And if I'm looking at the daily and seeing that we're in an overall downtrend, then I'm going to look for sells. So in this case, what I did was, on the hourly, it's technically, above the averages, but it moved down, price moved down here. And I entered back in a sell on this retrace to the orange 21 MA. So I got in right here and then it chopped up for a bit. And at one point I was about $3,000 in profit. And I just thought it was going to continue moving down and hit my take profit, but it just kept bouncing around and it took too long and the day was about to end. So I just closed it at I believe it was 1,800 profit, something like that.
Okay.
So closed that and that was that. And then I was busy the next couple of days, so I didn't trade these days. And then on this day, I actually took this trade and went to sleep. So it was 10 p.m. when I got it. It had closed already below the 21 period EMA. So it was actually kind of a bad entry. But based on what I was seeing on the daily chart, I was pretty confident that we were going to move down from that level. So
Okay.
I just entered it and it hit take profit essentially in my sleep. Like I woke up right before it hit it and I closed out like 1,000 away from my take profit. And, by that point, I've already got $9,300 and I just wanted to ride out and let the rest of the days go until I got paid out. Cause it's my second payout with you guys. And the first payout was pretty light and I did that on purpose just to make sure I get the refund back and, that you guys were paying out. And then the second one, I turned up the heat a little more, but just wanted to be sure that I get paid out just based on, what I've seen with funding talent and stuff. And now that I know I could really trust you guys, I'll most likely be turning up the heat in the next pay cycle.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Fair enough. Absolutely. Okay, cool.
I wish I could say it's a combination. So that's the one strategy I have is the retrace to the moving average. And then the other strategy is just simple support and resistance, which is just relied heavily on zones by the daily chart.
I love this. I love it. KISS is my motto. Keep it simple, stupid. So that's the greatest way to go with trading. So just a few questions as I'm looking at this here. So you keep your daily up and then your 1 hour. Love that. Do you place your trades in the 1 hour? Or do you ever zoom in a little bit closer?
I do. Yeah, I do place my trades in the 1 hour. But in this one in particular, it's just not the best example of it because I entered late. Like it actually was not a good entry. And I'm just lucky that it ended up hitting take profit and going in the direction I knew it would. But I would have actually wanted to enter more at, 1223, whereas instead I entered at, 1203. So.
Oh. Gotcha.
I mean, 20 pips. My hard stop is 100 pips and my take profit is 95 pips. So basically 1-to-1.
All right, fair enough. As far as the different pairs that you look at, so you got the GBP USD. Is there other pairs that you look at, or are you just kind of like a
US 30? So I'll do the Dow and I'll do GBP USD. And those are the only two ones I rock with. I've really been on GBP USD a lot more just because I like the way the chart moves. There's no other way I can explain it other than just the moves they seem clean and I usually get a good trade out of it when I'm in it. So I do like that. But US 30, I've been on US indices for the really large majority of my trading career. So I'll always be trading US 30 as well.
This is efficient. I'm into it. I love it. Okay, cool. So to sign us off, I think the best thing is one, if you want to let us know how much your payout amount was for this one. And then the second thing will be kind of just some advice that you've got for traders who can't quite get the payout. Like they're passing challenges, they get funded and then they blow accounts. What's just some advice you can give to those guys?
Let's see if I wanted to share the payouts on my screen so that you guys.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
This was just to make sure that I could trust you guys and that I was going to get my payout. And by the way, when you guys gave me back my refund, you gave me back an additional, I think you guys did 120% refund on this because I got more back than I thought I would. And I thought that was really cool. So thank you.
Love that. Absolutely.
And then the next one here is this one. And then that's my latest one. So
congrats, dude. Nice. That's a pretty number.
Yeah, it's a great number. And that cleared into my account an hour ago. So
amazing.
You guys are paying out and it's great. I really appreciate you guys.
Of course. Nice. We love to see it. Okay, cool. I mean, there's so much, stipulations out there of prop firms. If, like you said, with the last one you had experience with, some go under, some people don't get paid out. Some people think it's a scam. So it's awesome to have guys like you on here be like, all right, guys, I gave it. It's due diligence. What?
So many people think this stuff is a scam. I've tried to put so many friends onto prop firms and so many people I care about. I tried people that I know that are trading crypto and trading options and all these things and getting really pissed because they blew their, $1,000 account. I keep trying to tell them bro, join a prop firm. What are you doing? So it falls on deaf ears, but that's all right.
Right. Sometimes that's, hey, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink it. That's good saying.
People find out sooner or later, so it's all good.
Okay, so some advice for some of those guys that just can't quite get the payout. What you got?
Psychology. It Amen. Really, it's that because again, with the strategies, no strategy, in my opinion, is bad. It's just a matter of you know what? This is what I'll recommend. This is a book that changed my life. Have you ever read Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas?
No, but I've heard amazing things.
Oh man, it's
That's
such
it.
a good book.
It's the one.
That was the book that like turned it all around for me. Like that was what pivoted my whole mindset. It's such an amazing book, and I would recommend everybody listen to the audiobook or read it however you want to take in the information. But please check that out, because that was what saved me. Like that was what just broke things down so simply. I'll paraphrase it's much longer book, but to paraphrase it, the outcomes of the market are random. And if you just look at it that way, it makes your life so much easier, because then you're not like racking your brain trying to have the right strategy or be correct on your trade. Just know that the outcomes are random, and what's going to happen is going to happen, and you have no control of it. The only thing you have control over is how you feel about what positions you're taking and what strategies you implement and why. Because this is what really motivated me when I lost trades, because I still lose trades all the time. If I take like a bad loss, the first thing I want to do is back test strategies. Like there's something in me that when I lose, the first thing I want to do is like not only figure out why I lost, but like spend hours back testing a strategy so that I could like make sure that it never happens again. And then, so I would say just keep back testing, because if you have something that really, it does work very well, then you could just make your trading super boring, follow the strategy, and most likely come out profitable. It's when you overtrade. It's when you let the losses get to you. It's like all of those things combined that'll make you make bad decisions and ultimately blow your account. Yeah, I would say just really iron out the psychology parts of it, and back test your strategies as much as you can, so that you've got 2 or 3 that you can always go to, whenever times get really tough and you're tired of staring at the charts and you're tired of like being emotionally pulled, whichever way. You can just apply a strategy and let it work, and step back and, go do something else for a little bit until you feel good. But I still, I say all that, right? But like, I still like to scalp, and I still like to, make bad decisions sometimes.
We're human.
And I'll, increase my lots when I shouldn't. It's like, I still make all of the mistakes, right? But I'm trading for a prop firm with prop firm's capital. So if I have one good payout, it literally cancels out like any funded account that I've blown or like any challenge that I failed, because the payout is good enough. So as long as I just keep on that track, like I'm fine.
Absolutely. All right. You heard it here first from Austin, spitting knowledge, spitting facts. I love it. Also, is there any social media handles you want to shout out before we hop off?
Follow me on Instagram, I guess. It's just austin.fig. I guess I'm most active there. I'm not like too heavy on socials these days, but
fair enough.
Yeah, follow me on Instagram.
Cool. Sick. Why not? Awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this interview today. Thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for our YouTube channel. Subscribe, hit the bell, notifications, like, comments, all those good things. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you, Austin, so much. And hopefully you'll get another payout. We can do round 2 to this.
For sure. I appreciate you.
Awesome. Have a good one.
You too.